Hey guys, welcome to Tanya's Cooking from Italy. Today we're going to make a lasagna classico with the bolognese sauce. Here are the ingredients that we're going to be using today. As you can see, we have the homemade pasta noodles. We have the bolognese sauce, which is the same sauce we made in the recipe 2 videos back. I have 2 cups of Parmesan cheese, 2 cups of fontina cheese, and then to make the bechamel sauce, as you can see right here, this is all we have. 2 cups of milk, 3 tablespoons of butter, 2 tablespoons of flour, and a tablespoon each of ground pepper and ground salt. I'm going to use a 12 by 18 rather large lasagna pan that's going to be well oiled with this olive oil spray. And this will feed about 8 to 10 people depending on appetites. Now that we have all of our ingredients assembled, the first thing I'm going to do is make the bechamel sauce. We're going to start by putting our butter in a pot and heating it up on medium. Step 2, we're going to put our whole milk in a separate pot and warm that up on high and then turn to medium. As the butter's melting, I'm going to start trickling in the flour and whisking the flour as I trickle it in. Then I'm going to start whisking down here because I don't want it to burn. I'm just going to keep whisking and tossing at the same time. Whisking and tossing. Whisking and tossing. Whisking and tossing. Give it the final whisk, all the flour's out. And then what I'm going to do is start pouring the milk into the flour. It's beginning to bubble on the outside. I do not want this to burn. It's pretty thick. I'm going to turn it off. Add my pepper. Add my salt. Whisk. And then I'm going to take it off the heat and let it cool. When our pasta water is boiling, we're going to start putting the noodles in as fast as we can. They cook so quickly, and since we have to get a lot in, some are going to cook more than others, which is unfortunate because I'm going to keep the camera going the whole time that these cook, because by the time I drop them in, these were extra thin, and by the time I drop them in, it's going to be time to get them out. And I have to be very, very gentle so they don't break before I get them even in there. Okay, I'm going to let it boil. Oh good, since I had frozen these in advance, I cooked them yesterday and put them in the freezer. I put them in the freezer rather than the refrigerator because I wanted them to get hard and dry out some of the water, which assisted the process because I think they're going to be in here for a minute. Okay, it's 6:04. I'm going to get them out at exactly 6:05, if not sooner. Stand by. Okay, they're done. I'm going to gently drain them so that none of them break. And to let them roll down into the water. And this pasta is a little bit different for me because I want to add lots of cold water so that none of this pasta sticks together. And I'm going to keep adding cold water until I can touch it. When the situation gets to where I can touch the pasta, I'm going to gently transfer it to this pan over here, but not until it is cold, because I have to handle these to keep them from breaking apart. Even though I'll show you a little trick, it'll all work out if some do. Nothing is perfect. But they're getting nice and cold. So I'm going to transfer the pasta with the water that's remaining in there over to here. And then I'm going to start pulling them apart. A little trick I have is I add a little bit of olive oil so I can then handle them without them breaking. Because they're so delicate. This is one of the most delicate situations. Oh, one is very hot right here. I'm going to bring it back over into the cold water. Or actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring the cold water over to it. Because the more I handle, oh, it's very hot. It was in the center. The more I handle it, the more likely it's going to break. I'm going to gently get to make sure that I had a few extras. I'm going to have to transfer this one over here to the pasta hospital and get it really cooled off and separated, or else I'm going to lose this whole pasta noodle. There, it's gently pulling apart and cold. There's certainly things that we can fix as we go along, but having the whole noodle dry up is not one of them. This one too, I'm going to bring it over here, keep running the cold water, and get it separated. Keep running the cold water until I get this separated. I did make a few extra pasta noodle layers just in case I had any mishaps, which I really hope I don't. But right now this one's not coming. Oh, there we go. It's coming apart. That's the problem when it's so long. Our best thing to do right now is to just take all this over to the workstation and get rolling on the assembly. All right, for the assembly, the bechamel, as you can see, has gotten nice and thick, just like I told you it would. The bolognese sauce is here. I have the noodles, and I'm going to start by spraying the 12 by 18 lasagna pan liberally with olive oil. The first thing I'm going to do is put the bolognese layer on the bottom of the pan. Now I make a nice lasagna. It's fine if it's thin. It does not have to be thick. So even if there's a chance here and some of our pasta noodles have stuck together, we'll survive because we have a nice big pan and we don't have to have all of the layers that people think. So I'm going to start with this pasta noodle and place it here. And then I'm going to take another one. This one looks a little messed up, but I'm going to show you how I can fix this. The idea is to cover each layer with pasta, of course. They don't have to be perfect because this was a really thin rollout. So I can cut and paste as I go along, especially on the lower level, which this is the bottom layer. So it's fine if it's not perfect. After I've got the one layer, I don't see any little pieces that I want to take yet, but as we go along, I may take some layers and fix that. So I'm going to take a brush, and my next step is to gently do a layer of bechamel sauce. Now I'm careful not to get my brush into the bolognese because little things like that are unappetizing to me. So then the next thing I'm going to do is put just the tiniest amount of fontina cheese. It does not, this is my little trick. I actually learned this from Paola and Rubino. She actually used an American Swiss back in the day, and it just adds a nice little touch. The next thing I'm going to do is do my next layer of bolognese. And you don't have to be exact. I'm actually not even going to spread this around because it's going to spread itself around. So I'm going to add just a little touch more here on the edges, and then I'm going to do my next pasta layer. This will all melt together. The most important part for me right now is to get my pasta moving as quickly as I can, so I know what my sheets are like. Here we go. This is a good one right here. Nice, nice, nice. And then this one is the edge that just broke. So let me get a knife. Here. I want to doctor up that little bit while I was there. And then I'm going to get another sheet. And just keep covering the pan. What parts. This pasta I rolled out very, very thin. I didn't think it would survive the cooking process, and I was right, but the thinner, this one's actually going to be so much better than if the pasta noodle were perfect, because I can tell you this one's going to be delicious just because of how thin the roll is. There we go. Just ever so slightly on the fontina. It just adds a little bit of flavor. You would never ever know there's any cheese in here. Another layer of the bolognese. So we're on 2 layers of pasta. I mean, at best I'm going to do 4 at most. The very, very thick lasagna, I just don't ever do. I don't like that as much. I like it to be very, very thin. And I never mix the bechamel I let the cooking process mix these ingredients so they remain separate but together. It's just a little thing I have. Okay, I'm ready for my next pasta layer. And I'm going to try and find the best sheet that I can. I think here's a good one right here. And I was right. This one is very good. Now, as you saw, these cooked for 1 minute. 1 minute in the boiling water. So they're still al dente. So the cooking process with the lasagna, it will definitely not be al dente, but it will be delicious. Now I have this one that's really nice. This is a really nice big one. Just gotta get this edge here off from where it's stuck. So we're on 1, 2. This is the third delicate layer. If it breaks apart, that's okay. I can just bring it on into two moves instead of one. It will be the same effect. And this all cooks down together. Okay, nice. This is actually very, very, very nice. So I'm going to wrinkle this piece up. I'm actually going to cut it right here. I'm cutting it and wrinkling it, so I don't want to double lap. I don't want any pasta noodles overlapping each other. I'll see if I need that again for the next layer. So we're at 1, 2, 3. Just dabble the fontina, the secret, I call that my secret ingredient, and then the bolognese. We're getting down to the lower end of the bolognese, so this might be our last layer, and then I could. No, you actually can't. Unfortunately, you can't. Once you've cooked a fresh pasta, if you don't use it, it just needs to go in the trash. There's not too much you can do with it. And I do think I'm at my last bit here. I don't think I'm going to be able to get another layer out of it. Which is okay. I make my lasagna so light. When this dish is done, the person that eats it will not even know they ate anything. Well, I mean, they'll know they ate because it's delicious, but their stomach won't feel heavy. And just like last time, I'm going to use every last drop of this sauce to cover this lasagna. Okay, we're there. So now I'm going to do the Parmesan cheese, and we're going to cover this with tin foil and bake. The oven's been preheating the entire time we've been doing the preparation. It's on 350 on center rack. And I'm going to let it bake for 1 hour and then check. Let's take a look at the lasagna and see how it's doing. It's been in here for 45 minutes and it is just beginning to bubble. At this point, I'm going to add the smallest amount of the leftover fontina cheese on the top. It's merely just for appearances. just to give it that little touch on top, and also just to get rid of the little bit of fontina cheese that was left. It's just a little touch I do. So now we're going to cover this back up and put it back in the oven for at least another half hour. We'll check in on it then. It's time to check on the lasagna. It's been in there for about an hour and a half, 45 minutes with the tin foil and 45 minutes without. And now we're going to get it out. So hold on, everybody. And here it is. Oh my goodness, so beautiful. I'm going to put this on the plate. Delicious. I'm going to take a bite and taste this. I cannot wait. Oh my gosh, I normally don't taste my things, but it's so good. It's very good.
Con un bacio puoi iniziare a fare l'amore, un bacio può cambiare la pioggia con il sole, allora baciami, non posso più aspettare, accendi tutti i sensi e lasciati andare adesso, baciami, che ho voglia di sentire la tua bocca sulla bocca e un contatto carnale. Non è mica un reato, un bacio non dato invece è proprio un peccato. Un bacio può svelare ciò che non puoi immaginare. Un bacio adesso è quello che io ti voglio dare, allora